When you visit a SharePoint site, you don't necessarily see every single piece of the site when you look at the home page or when you look at the quick launch, because the person who develops the site and then later the site owner can make choices about whether or not particular site features are available on the quick launch or are featured on the home page. This is prime real estate. I might have 5 document libraries and 20 custom lists, and I don't want to crowd this page. I want to make sure that the items that are listed in the quick launch are the items that I would like to have featured. More importantly, I might have some libraries that I don't want users to have access to, and in that case, I'll make sure they're not in the quick launch. What if I have a library like that? Because I do. How do I get to it without either memorizing a URL or listing it on the quick launch? The answer is site contents. You will visit some sites where site contents isn't listed on the quick launch either. And that's because if I don't want my users to be able to get to everything, then I might simply hide the navigation to make that a little less likely. If you don't see site contents on the quick launch, click the gear and see if you find it here. In either event, you'll go to a site contents page that will show you a number of things. First, it will show you all of the lists, libraries, and other apps that are included in the site. I told you that I have a library that's not featured on the quick launch. It's a library that I create in almost every site that I build called admin pics. These are images that are used within the site, like the Landon Hotel image. I don't want them to accidentally be deleted by someone who's cleaning up extra pictures on the site. So I create an admin pics library and I place my images in there, and I know that it exists, but I can also go to site contents to find it. Notice also that there's Power BI enabled on this site. You don't see that listed anywhere in the site contents, nor do you see the site assets or site pages libraries that were created when this site was created within SharePoint. Those always exist. At the bottom, you see subsites. We don't have any yet, but we will be creating them. So the site contents page also allows us to see the hierarchy of the site, specifically to see any subsites that are listed within this site. Now, if I have levels of subsites, I won't see subsites within subsites within subsites. I only see the next level here in my site contents. There are 3 other things worth noting here. First are site workflows. Site workflows are workflows that are created to support a business process that takes place within the site. We'll talk about workflows later in the course, but site workflows typically can be used in many different libraries or lists in the site, but you have to have a place to launch or start them from, and that would be here on the site contents page. Next, we have settings for this entire site, everything about it. When I click to open the site settings page, you'll be pretty amazed by the number of choices that we have here, including some things that we'll look at relatively soon, like the site title, description, and logo, how the quick launch and the other navigation elements work, whether we like the color of the site or want to modify it. All of these items we'll find here in site settings, which we can get to via site contents. And finally, when we delete items in the site and they're placed in the recycle bin, this is where the recycle bin lives. You don't get a separate recycle bin for each of the libraries and each of the apps. You get one recycle bin here in SharePoint. Site contents is very valuable. If I wonder if something exists on a site, then it's an easy way to find out, which is always a good impulse if you're considering adding something. Before I add a calendar, go to site contents, make sure I don't have one already. If I'm thinking of adding a new document library, go to the site contents to see what we already have. And if I want to check my settings for this site, site contents gives me a quick way to get there.